But first, we're following new developments in the Karen Reed murder retrial going on in Massachusetts. Reed is scheduled to be retried on April 1st for the murder of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Well, the Commonwealth claims that she ran over him with her car and then left him to die in the snow.
Her first trial ended in a mistrial when the jury deadlocked on 2 of the charges, including second-degree murder. Today, Reed was back in court for another hearing. Now, at issue in this hearing is whether the defense made misrepresentations to the court during Reed's first trial about 2 experts who testified that John O'Keefe's injuries were not from being hit by a car. Crime and Justice correspondent Matt Johnson has been inside that courtroom and now has a debrief.
Kelly, Michael, good evening. It was a bombshell in court today, just the latest in the Karen Reed retrial case, as the judge learned that the defense experts, the ARCA experts, were in fact paid after the trial.
It says at the top, ARCA invoice date, July 12, 2024. Of course, by then the trial is over. I can't reveal attorney-client communications, but I can tell you there's one person that was more shocked than most about the invoice coming in and the amount.
Did they pay it?
Yes.
Karen Reed's attorneys back in court arguing that oversight was not intentional and that they corrected the issue. They also claim that the prosecutor misstated the facts. Last week, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan claimed that the defense did not disclose communications or payment with ARCA experts related to testimony in the first trial. Today, Hank Brennan said this.
I'll move on, but the point is it is not incumbent on the court to provide the proof that the defense was given the opportunity to bring in today to clarify the record. Instead, it is the typical 101, blame everybody but themselves. There's no acknowledgement, there's no contrition, and there's no confidence that we are going to get all the materials that we're entitled to. To suggest that ARCA's position did not change, it did change. Their opinions did change by the time they reached trial. It is not that the defense brought out that there was an expert in lighting or crashes happen at night. It is the bias, the relationship that is critical, and that was hidden from the court, the Commonwealth, and the jury.
Judge Beverly Cannoni did not issue a ruling today which could include removal of counsel if the court finds wrongdoing was intentional, a move the defense argued would violate Karen Reed's 6th Amendment right of counsel of choice and delay the trial. Defense attorneys Jackson, Yannetti, and Little only said this today.
As an officer of the court, is there anything that you dispute that you just heard from Mr. Leslie? And what I'm particularly concerned about is what you knew or what you didn't know.
You know, what he said was entirely accurate.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, same questions.
No, but I would simply elucidate with regard to the February 6th sidebar comment. As I look back at I didn't remember making the comment one way or the other. I didn't remember that sidebar.
I did.
Well, I'm sure the court did after it looked at the transcript. I did as well after I looked at the transcript.
I did long before I looked at the transcript.
Right. The context of that, what was in my brain when I said we don't have anything else to give, which when I reviewed the transcript, was very clearly the federal batch of information, what we refer to as the federal dump. I did not have in my head at all emails, communications, things of that nature, the small...
Invoices, payment?
No, nothing. I was, because the content...
Each of the attorneys there for the defense that are working outside of their normal state and jurisdiction telling me, or telling the court rather, that all of the arguments made in court today were fair and accurate. Outside the courthouse, none of the attorneys spoke. I also tried to get a comment from Hank Brennan, the special prosecutor. He didn't have a comment, but Karen Reed did tell me as she was exiting the courthouse, if in fact any of her attorneys are removed, she will appeal. That is the very latest from the courthouse. I'll send it back to you.
Interesting.